Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. After yesterday's the crazy thunderstormish day, I mean thunderstorm in terms of cricket, we're back to kind of normal circumstances. I have with me Fez, who's clutch, who just joined, and I have Mr. Vinay Hari Haran. First of all, I would like to say happy Diwali to all our viewers and to Vinay. How are you doing, bro?
Happy Diwali, boys. And are we reviewing today's games or are we reviewing that India Pakistan again? Man?
I
What
think
a
it'll be
game that was.
I think it'll be 10 minutes. We'll talk about today's games and then we can go into Virat Kohli because Vinay is the son of umpire Hariharan. So I would like to talk about that no ball in the eye test today. But yeah, Fez, how are you doing, bro?
Still recovering. Sorry,
Recovering.
but still reminiscing that shot and everything that went down yesterday. Even the podcast yesterday, I was watching it again just because we are appreciating Kohli and the fact that we are going through the match. But yeah, I mean it's all firecrackers around since yesterday at the Gabba. So yeah.
At the MCG.
To be the MCG, man, not Gabba. By the way,
MCG.
Uh, but yeah,
for me, for me, to be honest, the World Cup seems to be like over right now because
I agree.
the way the way that innings was, it
Yeah.
feels like we won the World Cup and it's done. That's how it feels like. I don't want to watch any more games. So,
I, I completely agree with you there. Like I had the same feeling today. I didn't know what to do with my life. I just kept, I had work, but like the things kept replaying in my head, like the shots and just the whole game in general. Credit to Pakistan the way they played. But whoever, whether you're Pakistani, whether you're Indian, whether you're a kid, whether you're adult, grown adult, people of different ages. That's all they
yeah.
were talking about yesterday. Like I'm in Dubai. I went for dinner. That's all they're talking about. Like I went to like the mall. That's all they're talking about. Everything is about Virat Kohli yesterday. Whether you're whatever nationality you are, we saw a lot of Australia. Actually, they don't really take T20 cricket seriously. For them,
Yeah.
it's the Boxing Day. It's about the Gabba, like what Faz said, the MCG Test match, 5 days. That's what they talk about. Yesterday, Australians were coming out and saying this is the best innings that we've ever seen in our land, and like just to show like, and Virat Kohli has a beautiful connection with Australia, like starting from him giving the middle finger, bantering with Mitchell Johnson
Yeah.
to scoring century against Sri Lanka. He has a beautiful relationship with that country, and it just went to another level yesterday, bro.
It was just I can't even talk about it, man. It was just the best feeling.
Yeah,
Like it was totally worth it. So my Saturday was basically I had gone for a Diwali party, and by the time I came home, it was like 11:30.
yeah,
I'm like, I'm gonna go to sleep right now because I have to wake up at 3 o'clock and then watch the game. And I didn't sleep. I didn't
yeah,
sleep from 11:30. I was too nervous for the game itself. Like, what's gonna happen? So many things were playing around, and then 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I didn't
yeah.
move. I didn't move an inch, to be honest. Like, I was on the same position on the couch. I didn't even get up to drink water. That's how nervous I was in the entire innings. And 8:30, my wife just came. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Don't even talk." And she saw me like tearing up and crying and everything. Like, what
No,
happened to
man, and yesterday it's like nobody could control their emotions. Faz knows like me and Faz used to get very stressed out in
you?
cricket games. Right? We used to
Yeah,
walk around the house, this, that. Like our parents used to get really pissed off because they're like, you're gonna ruin your health like this. But after I would say the last 4 years, I don't really get stressed out in cricket matches. Like whether it was that India New Zealand semi final or anything. Even when you met me after that, I was joking around about Duptals run out and all that.
yeah.
I really don't get stressed out in cricket matches anymore. But yesterday's game पूरा हल्लक में आ गया फेस में इधर उधर पुड़े आ रहा था समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या करूं एम्बुलेंस बुलाऊं नहीं बुलाऊं like for the first time after maybe 4 years I felt like that.
Yeah.
या पहली बार मेरे को गले में हार्ट अटैक आया यार so I was like I didn't know I was not able to react to any wicket the situation क्या हो रहा I mean, even that last over like I think I was dead like for like 6 balls I was dead like
Yeah.
what's happening and वो stump हो गया बीच में मैं और पागल हो गया मैं बोला and there's not like ज्यादा चलने की भी जगह नहीं back at like when me and Mustaq used to walk around the whole house up and down and just try to ignore the TV and go away from the TV for some time but
Yeah.
कल कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते एक जगह पे बैठ के देखना था and it was just
Yeah.
wow
I
ये
became
nailing सकते हैं.
superstitious yesterday. I became really superstitious. Like यहाँ से हिलूंगा तो कुछ जाएगा नहीं कि कुछ होगा पता नहीं इसलिए
Yeah.
मैं हिला ही नहीं.
Yeah. One thing though I did change is, you know what happened when I was younger, like maybe 6 years ago, when the game gets close, I used to close the TV and just like go into my room or whatever, and I wouldn't watch for like hoping that
Yeah.
something changes in our favor or whatever like that, right? But
Yeah.
like now, because it's work and stuff, you have to watch every ball. There's no thing, but I enjoyed that. Like, you know, the like now when I look at it, at that time my heart was racing, but now that I look at it, I felt that maybe it's as you get older, you become a bit calmer, a tad bit calmer. But I really enjoyed watching every ball. And what Faiz said, you know, एकदम से गेम इधर उधर पलट जा रहा था. Then Dinesh Karthik out हो गया. फिर से हल्लक में चले गया game. You know, it could have been 2-1 if it wasn't.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, right? It could have been 2-1. So, man, it was next level stuff. But आज का games के बारे में थोड़ा बात कर लेंगे.
Sorry, एक point. सोचो अगर उस टाइम पे जब लास्ट बॉल 2 रन चाहिए थे तब अश्विन नहीं खेला होता और चाहल खेल रहा होता टीम में तो क्या होता?
हाँ,
कौन आता बैटिंग पे? भूवी आता बैटिंग पे. सोचो.
We both discussed this on the pod, me and you, that कि like, you know, अगर शमी खेल रहा तो यही होने वाला है.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Harshal will get dropped and Ashwin will play. Otherwise, you know, they'll have to do something. Matlab, an extra, the bowler who can bat will play basically.
Exactly.
And if you notice, both Dinesh Karthik and Ashwin, right? Dinesh Karthik made he made the mistake of going for the sweep. He could have left that also, but Ashwin just very cleverly left it. And Virat Kohli was telling him hit it over point or covers, but Kohli said himself that I was so happy the way he played that ball. It was probably the most important shot that well left.
Yeah.
But फैज आज के गेम्स में थोड़ा बात कर लेंगे. बांग्लादेश
काय को वर्ल्ड कप खत्म हो गया भाई.
कल का श्रीलंका आयरलैंड भी
श्रीलंका आयरलैंड भी बात ही नहीं कर रहे हम लोग. श्रीलंका won that convincingly, but today Bangladesh were registering their first win in T20 World Cup second round ever. I think it was the first time they won in the on the big stage, and it was their first T20 international in Australia as well. So a big moment for Bangladesh cricket, but वो भी you know, it wasn't a convincing win. But good to see the way Taskin bowled that first over. I think that was the game changer for me.
Yeah, even their opening pair, I think they Najmul played on fine inning, like 43 tha in first 5-6 overs. अच्छा 8 का run rate था. But suddenly they just started collapsing, and I think the likes of, you know, like Shakib Al Hasan also, he didn't keep his nerve, and as a captain, like with all that experience, put aside whatever drama he's been doing lately, but he should have you know, stayed at the pitch, and he just gave away an easy catch in the deep. So I think Bangladesh's batting needs more improvement from this match is what I see. Luckily, Afif Hussain, I think he got dropped in the deep by Tim Pringle. वो catch drop हो गया, easy catches था, but you know, Pringle sort of spilled it in the deep. The guy with the specs, I think that's Tim Pringle, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, that's
yeah. So yeah, he spilled it, and I mean, Colin Ackerman का innings बहुत अच्छा था. If you've seen उसके
that was a good innings.
Very good innings, very yeah.
विकेटां जा रहे थे दूसरे एंड से, मगर उन्हें छक्के लगा रहा था.
और उसको काफी पावर है यार. I mean, he has good power. Unfortunately, जो मेन मैन उन लोगों का रहा, that Max O'Doid. I mean, उसका strength अच्छा है, but unfortunately today he got out very quickly. And no one else was sitting around with Colin Ackerman, unfortunately. Scott Edwards tried, but उससे भी कुछ नहीं हुआ. एंड में हालांकि their bowler क्या है इसका नाम? Meekiran. Yeah, Van Meekiran also played
खतरनाक खेला भाई. Best innings by number 11.
Yeah. If you remember in the previous podcast, I've taken his name about Netherlands player.
अरे भाई Jahan, I don't know if I was there in that podcast, but
नहीं मैं बोला था, Vander Murphy बोला था मैं, तो you said no, that's a South African guy.
But yeah, I think Faz, you got a spot on there in terms of acumen. He was outstanding, but just short. But a lot of worries for Bangladesh still. Vinay, but on the upside, Taskin Ahmed, outstanding performance, picked up 4 wickets. He broke the back of Netherlands in the early stages with the new ball. You know, bowled with some serious pace, got some nip around as well. It was a very good spell by him. But yeah, apart from that, Bangladesh still have a lot of improvements. Like Faz said, you know, someone like Asakib needs to show more responsibility as captain.
Yeah, and 17th over जो था, that was the turning point for Bangladesh. If they didn't get those 2 players out at that point in the 17th over that Tashkent bowled, I don't think Bangladesh would have won based on how Van Meeken kind of hit at the end. Ackerman was also in form at that point, so I think they would have lost. They lost. They won by only 8 runs. That could have been the game changer. So that over and those wickets were very crucial for them.
Yeah, and one other point that is that when Afif Hussain got dropped, it was 107 or something. He added another 13 runs to the board, which actually changed it. If you take out
Yeah.
the 13 runs from this equation, then Netherlands would have won. So I think it's a game of drops and just very slight margins. But I mean, जो भी है अच्छा try करे Netherlands to come back, but in the end, बंगालियों का दिन था.
Yeah. No, and
भैया
you know,
बंगाली नहीं है वो, बंगाली नहीं है, बंगाली कोई और होते
then,
ये
then
बांग्ला है.
बांग्ला है. भालो 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 भालो.
Lekin, I think Bangladesh. Hopefully, this will give them a better confidence. But the way they played, I think like the other teams won't be too, worried about playing Bangladesh. Again, they do have experienced players. I feel that there are players who are match winners in that team. If someone like a Sakib can step up against a big team, that would be great. But when you're playing against the likes of India, Pakistan, you can't afford mistakes like this. You can't afford collapses like this. And again, their batting, like Faiz said, does look a bit shady, especially up top. If someone like a Bhuvneshwar Kumar or a Haris Rauf, Shaheen Afridi, these guys will, really break your back if you give them any opportunity. But yeah, Vinay and Fez, that was that game. What about the South Africa, Zimbabwe? South Africa got robbed, man.
Heartbreak, man. Heartbreak.
Smashed
Heartbreak
it.
for South Africa.
That was,
Reminds me of 92, 92 or 96.
पैदा भी नहीं हुए तुम, जब भी पैदा हुए या एक साल पहले पैदा हुए होंगे, तुम reminds you. हैं?
No, 92 वाला वर्ल्ड कप याद है तुम्हें?
हाँ, मेरे को बहुत याद है, हम दोनों बैठ के चड्डियों में देख रहे थे.
मैं चड्डी में नहीं देखा, मैं टीवी में बाद में देखा.
I know जो बारिश जो पाकिस्तान के मैच जो था, right?
Yeah. लास्ट बॉल फिर 20 रन चाहिए थे, इतना हार्ड ब्रेक. जो मैकमिलन और कौन था दूसरे एंड में, कौन पैट सिमकॉक्स जो रोए उस दिन.
Yeah.
जो रोए उस दिन.
And Bessie situation था, and then Pakistan went out to the World Cup, so we never know what's gonna happen in Zimbabwe, bro. But I think it's a crucial point missed, and honestly, the way they played, you just give them the 3 points because I know it's the 2 points, whatever it is. I just feel that. Sorry, Faiz.
Go ahead.
खत्म था मैच. There was no chance for Zimbabwe to win.
मैं एक ही चीज बोल रहा हूँ, लेकिन तुम वो इनिंग्स देखो, बाबूमा कुछ नहीं करा है.
2 बॉल 2 रन मारा भाई. 2 बॉल 2 रन मारा वो.
If our friend Ryan was here, अभी बाबूमा को बोनविटा बना दिया था. बाबूमा को बोनविटा बना के खा लिया था. And I think I'm happy because सिकंदर भाई भी आउट हो गए थे आज जल्दी.
तो मैं बेचारा आ रहा हूँ, मगर उन्हें क्विंटन जो खेला, man, the innings that he played was
six मारा रो.
खतरनाक. आगे देवशीर like सूद दे रहा था उन्हें, and it weren't easy conditions. But man, unfortunate for South Africa, and this is a crucial point drop. One mistake against India and Pakistan, they're out of the tournament. And I feel bad for them.
That Pakistan South Africa games becomes very important for them now.
Yeah, and honestly, I would be aware if I'm India and Pakistan, because South Africa are gonna come hard now because they know that they can't. I think they're gonna come hard. And last time also, if you remember, they got knocked out on net run rate. They only lost one game against Australia and got knocked out. Our co-host, our chairman, our owner is in the house. Brutal for South Africa. Did not.
भाई दिवाली बोनस.
भैया लाइव आके बातें करो. कितना लिखोगे?
Still thinking about
whenever boss business बढ़ाता ना, तो boss everyday नहीं आ सकता podcast. ना business extend करने जा रहे हैं इधर.
Yeah, no, that 6, we'll talk about it now very shortly. Vinay, how do you pronounce his name, bro? The guy who played well for Zimbabwe. That was a really good innings. He was playing uppercuts and got some good boundaries. He got them to a decent target, but in the end, the target was
Madhavire.
Wesley Madhavire.
Yeah, 35-18, strike rate of 191, and he was hitting good bowlers, man. It wasn't easy, so very impressive. But in the end, there were 100 runs.
Yeah, Madhavire ke saath they've been experimenting his position also. He came opening, I think, in the warm-up matches, and then he came one down, and then he's just not been able.
I think it was reduced over game, so they had to experiment to bring in. Even if India was playing, they would have probably opened with someone like Pandya or someone to go at the top, right? So it depends on the situation. बहुमा पता नहीं कैसे ओपन किया मेरे को
वो
ऐसे
तो कैप्टन
सिचुएशन
है
में
भाई।
बहुमा को क्यों ओपन करवाया?
लेकिन 2 रन कैसे मारते यार, वो शर्म नहीं है?
2 रन 2 बॉल पे ही मारा भाई, फुल 100 स्ट्राइक रेट
he
लेके
did his job. मैं भी ऐसा इनिंग खेला, विनय विनय देखा था, याद है विनय?
रवीश भाई के साथ
या भाई फैज 105 की पार्टनरशिप थी, उसमें
5 रन इसके थे।
मेरे 5 रन थे ऑफ 7 डिलीवरीज।
फिर भी बहुमा से ज्यादा है।
But Vinay, there was a lot of talk about the umpires, so let's go into our eye test now, and let's talk about yesterday's game again, because I think we analyzed today's games. Unfortunately, the South Africa game was washed out, but tomorrow we'll also have to discuss tomorrow's game. So, but let's go a bit India Pakistan. We still haven't वो fever उतरा नहीं अभी तक, so it's the time for the eye test.
बस सही कि वो फीवर नहीं है, वैक्सीनेशन है वो।
Sorry for I cut you there. But Vinay, you are from an umpiring family. You've been umpiring yourself. You make very dodgy calls yourself as well. But
wow. When did I make dodgy call?
three things. I'll take you from the start. The spider cam thing, was that your thoughts on that? Correct decision or thing? Because I think that would have been a catch. And first of all, your opinion on that.
Spider cam one, it's really, you can't do much on that. It's a correct decision. It's happened before as well. If you remember, Maxwell had hit straight up the same way, and it had hit the spider cam, and it was called dead ball. So I understand it is frustrating as a team when you're playing there and something like this happens. It was an easy catch that was coming to you, and that could have changed the momentum of the game itself.
Shan Masood,
But
right?
Shan Masood, yeah, it was Shan Masood, and that was what 15th, 16th over. So at the end, it could have changed a lot in terms of the runs and stuff. Like Pakistan might have scored like 10 runs or some short at that point, right? So it would have changed a lot in terms of a game perspective. So I understand the frustration, but it is what it is. You can't do much about it sometimes.
Yeah, and the second one is the run out of Aksar Patel. When you look at the replay, it's not clear whether Rizwan, like for me, it wasn't clear if he took it, if he hit it with the gloves or he had the ball in hand. Your thought on that? Was that out?
See, the runouts, the difference between a runout versus what is considered as an on-field decision when they ask for a third umpire referral, they ask for what's your soft signal, right? There's a difference between a runout and that's a soft signal. From the evidence that was provided for the runout, it looked like it was going to be out because the ball was hitting the stumps and the bails had lit up just a second before the gloves were hitting the stumps as well. So from that angle, I think that's what the umpire chose in terms of why it was given out. However, if you had looked at the contrary, it wasn't conclusive decision, and that's what the main criteria is for a third umpire usually. However, based on the circumstances that were there, I think it was the correct decision. What was evident in terms of shown on the camera angles.
So 2 correct decisions for you, and the last one, the most controversial one, the topic everyone's discussing, the Nawaz no ball. Virat. Just before that, if you remember, Dinesh Karthik played a shot, and Virat Kohli was asking for a no ball there. The umpire didn't give it, so people talking about they got under pressure and stuff. I don't think that's it because Virat Kohli he'll ask every time he's going to go to the umpire. Every batsman does that. Like even in our cricket we play, which is amateur cricket, like we look straight away at the square, like if there's anything close to the waist. So that I don't think that was the issue, but he did call it a bit later. So your call on that for you, was it above waist height? Was it 50-50? And also one more question I had in this, should it have gone to the third umpire, which is a lot of Wasim Akram mentioned this as well, that it's fine, like the umpire made a decision, but like if he's not 100% sure, he should have gone to the third umpire, and then whatever the third umpire says, it's fine.
Sorry, before you start, the reason I started laughing, the reason I started laughing was, Fezbhai, just for your knowledge, Musi was batting and I was like umpire, and this guy, his bat was here, His bat was here. It hit at the bottom of the bat, which was to study level. And basically, he's like asking, "Why are you not giving no ball?" He fought with me for that. He's like, "My bat is here." I'm like, the ball is sitting at your study level. It would have hit some other balls if you weren't playing that shot."
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
going
So
back to
that's
the
what I'm saying.
topic.
It happens in like every level. Like the batsman will put pressure on the umpire. So your thoughts on this?
Exactly. My thoughts on that was it was a very marginal call, and I think they should have referred. To be honest, especially in that situation, that was there. I don't think that was the right call, but being biased, I would say yes, that was something needed for India. But I think they should have gone from my gut call because it wasn't clear evidence that it was going to be just about the waste and stuff. But to be
After
honest,
looking at the replay, would you have called that a no ball? I wouldn't have called it. Like maybe I don't think I would have called it a no ball.
because the on-field decision was no ball, it would
Yeah.
have gone no ball even if it had gone to the third umpire.
Okay.
Let me say that as well because
Because it's 50-50, it's not conclusive.
exactly, it's not conclusive. So
So for you, it wasn't
even if
conclusive that it was above or below the waist.
yeah, it was just marginal to me because the way it is interpreted whenever it's a full toss, right? If the batsman was at his normal stance, where would the ball have been landed? That's the rule, right? Even if he's stepping out, like we when we play gully cricket and stuff, if a batsman steps out, even if it's above his head, you won't call it a no ball, right? But international rule basically states that at the normal stance of a batsman, where the ball is going, that is what is counted for giving a no ball above the waist.
So was that the normal stance?
It wasn't. He was a little extended
He came
at
up
that
high.
point,
Yeah, he came
right?
up
He
very
was a
high.
little extended because he was in his front foot. Normal stance is when you're not going too front and trying to hit the ball or anything. In your normal stance, how you're standing on the crease, right? If you were standing on your crease, how the ball is going to be coming to you, that's what is considered. So that's a trajectory that is actually noticed. And based on the on-field decision, if because they took on-field as no ball, even if the third umpire was there, I think it would have been inconclusive. So he would have gone with the on-field call.
Yeah, I think that was some good analysis there from
Yeah.
Vinay. Fez,
In gully cricket, in gully cricket, if it's not a no ball, then if I'm the owner of the bat, I take it back to my house and ball me leke chale aata.
No, I was
yeah,
actually referring to the Dinesh Karthik decision. Like he stepped
Yeah,
out and he hit it. So people immediately think that, oh, because he stepped out, it's not a no ball. That's why I just wanted to make that clarification that it's not based on if you're stepping out or not. It's based on your normal stance if the ball is going to be going down or not.
yeah, whether okay.
That's
Yeah,
fair
no,
enough.
I also felt that it should have been referred, but I don't know why. Like, and then the game is open, right? 7-2. You can say Virat Kohli would have smashed it, but he could have also got out. So we don't know
Yeah.
what could have happened then.
But
He did get
also,
killed
like,
with that free hit, huh?
yeah, and also like a lot of appreciation for Baba because he didn't make a very big thing about it. I mean,
Yeah, we mentioned
maybe
that
he might
yesterday.
go back. Yeah, he
Yeah.
might, like sort of, if it was a captain like us or something, अपन तो अड़ जाते थे. नहीं.
Yeah, Kohli bhi, अगर if he was the captain,
हाँ,
he wouldn't have.
yeah.
उन्होंने नहीं छोड़ा था वो. And even Babar did go. He did go to the umpire, but he let it go after. I think like I respect him in that. Like he didn't. If it was anyone, I would have lost my cool. Like if it was.
If you had remembered IPL, remember Pant, that Roman Powell.
Yeah, मैं नहीं खेल रहा बोल के declare कर देगा.
Exactly that, and even the Dhoni one. Dhoni
Yeah,
one, if you
Dhoni
remember,
he
Dhoni
came out
walked
and
into the
went
field itself.
crazy. Yeah. So
Right?
yeah, and it could have happened like in a high intensity game वैसा करे and वो जो game changing decision रहता he could have walked out also like
Yeah.
So we've seen even if you look at Pakistan players also Inzamam's done it as well. He's walked off and a lot of people have done it in the past. Indians have done it as well. So credit to him in that he kept his calm in that way and he stayed there. And it went in India's favor.
फिर भाई एक इंसिडेंट ऐसे ही हुआ मेरे डैड के साथ हुआ वानखेड़े स्टेडियम में गेम चल रहा था बॉम्बे में इंडिया वर्सेस पाकिस्तान था या ऑस्ट्रेलिया था याद नहीं आ रहा मेरे को धोनी बैटिंग कर रहा था टेस्ट मैच में एंड व्हाट हैपेंड
पाकिस्तान नहीं खेलते
नहीं पहले की बात है ये आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट 2004 2005 एंड स्टफ that time, right? So Dad was the third umpire for that game, right? And Dhoni test match में it was fourth day of the test match, and Dhoni was running towards the running end. A bowler came in between, so Dhoni was trying to fend off and trying to go into the crease. जो थर्ड अंपायर को फ्रेम दिखा रहे थे एंगल में, one frame was he's outside the crease, the bails have not completely been dislodged. Second frame वो inside the crease है और the bails are dislodged. जो बीच वाला frame है वो missing था, right? इतना टाइट कॉल था वो कि बीच वाला फ्रेम मिसिंग था. उसमें क्या हुआ, डैड asked the camera people to give the other angle, and instead the big screen guy, he flashed out on the screen. He flashed out on the screen, and Dhoni walked off. No, and the third umpire hasn't given the decision yet. He hasn't given the decision yet. They flashed this thing, and he has gone outside the boundary. They couldn't bring him back. After that day, the big screen was banned.
Interesting part yeah.
I was sleeping in the house. बाहर 1 बजे पूरे मीडिया वाले आए, बाहर पोस्टर चिपकाया, शूटिंग किया कि देखो लोगों ने क्या किया. But it was the media crew only who did that, right? Neighbor saw that and told us. And पूरा न्यूज छपा दिए. अगले दिन सुबह क्लैरिफिकेशन आया कि it wasn't the third umpire's mistake, it was the big screen guy, and the big screen is banned for the entire game now.
We should have just reversed the decision,
right?
But yeah.
So सोचे यही वाला जो डिसीजन हुआ, अगर ये नो बॉल नहीं देते और इंडिया में होता ये गेम, सोचो क्या क्या होता.
Yeah, like it goes to show you, like usually we look at from a player's perspective of how they have to see the match, but Empire के नजरिया भी इतना crucial रहता. I mean, any decision and the hate they get as well, and it's just a matter of a frame, and
yeah,
कोई जाके call भी ले लिया and आप उसमें कुछ कर भी नहीं सकते. I think really, I would really, we'd love to understand how an umpire, maybe one day you could actually let us know how it is from an umpire's perspective. We could do an episode on that also, Mustafa. Something like
100%, and we'll get Vinesh head on as well.
I think it's very underrated चीज है वो बहुत ज़्यादा. अब जो चीज आप बोल रहे हैं, and then the media and everything and the sort of story that gets built up around it. I mean, really kudos to your dad, man. Wow.
Like you as an umpire get a split decision to watch like give your decision. Right, as a viewer, you get like hours to analyze it, but as an umpire, you get a split decision to split second to actually give your decision there.
नहीं वो सईद अजमल का भी तो मेरे डैड थे उसमें, जो 2011 वर्ल्ड कप सचिन का जो
नहीं तब आईसीसी में नहीं था डैड.
उसमें भी फ्रेम्स मिसिंग थे बहुत.
उसमें पता नहीं वो बॉल कहाँ से उछल के आज तक नहीं मालूम. वो स्प्रिंग कहाँ से लगा वो मोहाली के पिच में, आशीष लगाया होगा वहां स्प्रिंग जाके.
पूरा चेंज हो गया था उसमें. But South Africans are very nice, bro. Man, they're very unlucky also, man. Very unlucky, unfortunate people.
इसके लिए उनको स्पिरिट ऑफ द ईयर अवार्ड देना चाहिए. आज के गेम
फेयर प्ले अवार्ड.
मैच खत्म हो गया था, कुछ भी बचा नहीं. लाइक बारिश में खेल लो अगर उतना 5 ओवर करना है तो. लाइक इट्स जस्ट अनफेयर.
जिम्बाब्वे कैसे मानती? जिम्बाब्वे को पॉइंट्स चाहिए थे, वो नहीं मानते.
सही बात है. लाइक दैट्स द रूल, राइट? लाइक जिम्बाब्वे they're like we've done it. I played in the game जब बारिश हो रही थी. We said no, khalas, we'll continue to play because want a result. But yeah, we were stupid. We should have taken the point and gone because we lost that game. It's against Vinay only. Vinay was batting. Vinay is the one who won them the game. Stupid, man. But like I should have done that as well. We played in the rain, Vinay, remember? Yeah, so I think Faiz, also I want to talk about should we do it? Yeah, let's just do it in the eye test section because it concerns the eyes. Hardik Pandya got very emotional yesterday in the post-match. Rona shuru kar diya. Even Virat Kohli could see his interview very emotional. So man, just goes to show like this game means a lot to these people. And he talked about his dad and everything like that. But yeah, your thoughts on, and also Hardik Pandya himself. I did criticize him yesterday because the way he ended his innings, but he did play a crucial role giving Virat Kohli support.
Yeah, completely. I think for each player, like on certain level, it was very nerve-wracking, obviously. But for these two specifically, the burden came very early in the match to their shoulders, right? And they had some like 12 overs, 13, 14 overs that they had to survive, right? And if you take both of their years, like the whole year that they went through in terms of cricket, it wasn't that great. Like Hardik Pandya did still have like a upsy daisy kind of an IPL, but for Kohli it wasn't that great. Come
Hardik
four, he
Pandya won
again
the
bowled.
IPL.
Yeah, he won it, but then he got injured, and then again उसको गालियां देना शुरू कर दिए. Then again
Yeah.
उसको hate मिला. कुछ तो भी अपने वाले कैसे रहते. Then
Hmm.
Kohli also had such a bad 4 months. So both of these factors, like both of these players, if you sort of converge them together and sort of see under the microscope how by dono actually went through a lot of things, and I think that all just poured out after the end result and managing to survive till the end. Pandya got out just before, but at least helping him to sort of get it till the end. I think these both really it sort of everything in that moment hit them that yeah, this is what we've been working for the entire year or the entire season. And finally, I though like it seems like we won the World Cup, we didn't. Let's just get that straight. But like
Yeah.
Pakistan is a milestone for us always, and for I'm sure for them we are as well. But
Yeah.
at the end, I think वो kept, like you said, pouring out emotion हो रहे थे because it was all that hard phase that they went through, and finally, reaping the benefits of their hard work.
Yeah, and even Virat Kohli, like normally he would start. We didn't hear him say BC or anything like that. Like when he normally he would do that when he wins the game, but he just like thanked the stars, and it was a different type of emotion. I guess again maturity and how like the amount of cricket he's played, he just changed the emotion. I don't mind whatever reaction it was. It was an outstanding, and you can react however you
Yeah.
want. But when a Rohit Sharma man going in carrying him like that, what a sight! Because we were, you're like the king of gossip. You know everything. There was a problem between the two. That is 100%, and it happened 2019 in that World Cup. It was because of Dhoni's position in the batting order. वो आप ही जो बोले, and we know that there was a problem between the two. But the way he came and he backed him. Listen, as a captain, he's backed him. They're not the best of friends. We can see on all the pictures from the airports and everything. दोनों नहीं आते साथ में. आप गौर कर लिए होंगे विनय. नहीं आते
Yeah.
साथ में something. They're not the best of friends, but that doesn't mean there's animosity or anything. They had an argument in a game, but. Just to show the way he's backed him in the last year, he's played him at one down, he's played him in his position. Yes, sometimes he's opened the batting, but when he needed a rest, he allowed that rest. And yes, I was joking yesterday at times to tease people, but I do give credit to Rohit Sharma a lot for this Virat Kohli success, and for him to come like that and then pick him up. That as captain, this guy won me the game. He said it in the presentation also. Bhai, this is the best innings he's ever played, and he knew. मैं यहाँ पे खड़ा हूँ, I'm in the on the winning side, and I'm giving you this post-match press conference basically.
So, just to start with, I think it's very criminal of everyone to kind of talk about players in that regard. That ये आज अच्छा नहीं किया, ये इतना बुरा किया. जो उनके achievements हैं, no one actually ever looks at that, right? Everyone looks at the failures and criticizes based on the failures. No one talks about any of the successes. How many games has Kohli won you in the overall years? And the tag that people are giving from yesterday's innings that he's back, he's not back. He's always been there, right? He's always been there. He's always
Yeah, but I'll
performed.
tell you something on that. I completely agree with you. I think like some of the personal stuff, criticism and stuff, that was uncalled for. But
Yeah.
if you look at it from a cricketing perspective, some of the shots he was playing and some of the dismissals, at that time you criticize him, no problem. Like you analyze it and you say, "Bhai, on outside the offside, problem हो रहा है उसको." Like जो भी England में ये वो. So I think that criticism is fine. But then going into these matches, he's done.
Exactly.
You can't rule
Yeah.
out a great player like that, and
See,
he proved
see,
everyone.
no one is playing for their country without the this thing that they want to perform poorly for the country. They want to give their best, right? Whenever they're playing, there's a billion number of people in the country, and you are being selected as a top 15 from a billion people, right? That's a big achievement by itself that you're being in the team, and you playing as that player in the team. You have so much responsibility that you have to carry for the entire this thing. Everyone is watching cricket. Everyone is noticing you. So how much you being noticed is also very evident for every player itself, and the pressure that they already take, and the remarks and everything. They don't showcase that they're getting affected, but still, it does affect them on a personal level. And coming back from that to playing this kind of an innings, it's it's what we live for. Like as a viewer, that's what you're wanting every time from the player. But the player can't perform that in every single game,
Yeah.
right? Again, if he played this innings, if he doesn't perform for next 4 or 5 games, again criticism is
Yeah,
going to
that's
come
the
with
world
it.
we live in. That's the world we live in. That's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Part yeah, you can't
Exactly. So
stop
See,
people
I
like
mean, whenever it comes to the point that like you said, out of a billion people, you're 15, right? And your expectations are from you because तुम 15 in the billion के भीड़ में तुम best है बोल रहे एक बात पर just to
yeah,
sort of take it to the argument like you're 15 unique players and I mean it's very you know acceptable that people are going to have expectations from you because this is sort of their life and their heart that they're pouring in the time to watch you and stuff and now a series of bad innings and stuff you're surely going to get criticized. The problem here is like what we spoke yesterday also man. So like everything that Kohli or these guys do is going to be 500x normal person से आप compare कर नहीं सकते ना
ये
yeah,
because
बहुत सही
exactly.
बात बोले because अब उन्हें जो करा कल everybody is talking about it वैसा like हम like ऐसा अगर हम हमारे ऐसा like like, we do something in our lives we won't get the same protection but we also
Yeah,
we won't get the same criticism so as a superstar like that's the life you live
so
right like
knowing that you're that unique 15 and a billion ka crowd you're going to have to deal with it I
yeah you
completely
have
agree
to
everyone is human you're a human being but man at the
yeah,
same time see आप आपको इतना years of experience हो गया so at Kohli's level he already knows how to deal with this stuff but yeah
yeah
going with the family and all this I don't agree with this yeah completely
yeah
I'm on but
yeah.
when it comes to proper cricketing time yeah I'm going to
yeah
criticize
that's
No,
you
how
no,
if you're
it
going to
that's
claim to
why
be
I
the GOAT
started
you're
with.
the GOAT.
That's why I
is.
started with. It's criminal to judge players based on that only,
Yeah
right?
yeah no
That's what.
100%
That's what I was trying to say. Like I'm not trying to justify people's comments or anything,
yeah
and I'm just saying
Yeah.
that it's very criminal to, and that's why these emotions actually came out. What came
yeah
out yesterday after that win, that is why these emotions came out,
bro
right? The
also
way
yeah
it did.
and that's the thing like me I've like I'm a big fan of his cricketer because he's done some chases which I've never seen before
Yeah.
right like the Australia one that was incredible Pakistan Asia Cup that was
Sri
incredible
Lanka.
Sri Lanka yeah वही वो Australia
Remember,
match
remember the game where India were if they had to qualify for the finals, and that was the first time they
Yeah.
actually won in Australia.
that was the one we're talking
Yeah.
about yeah that's the one
Exactly,
I'm
Sri
talking about.
Lanka won.
I've never seen an innings like that. I have not like
Yeah,
run chases, right? I've seen crazy Sachin innings, but a match winning like like this, I've rarely seen it from Indian perspective, and he does it on his own. Adelaide, he almost did it. He fell short, but that was also it gave me the belief that listen, we're gonna attack, we're gonna be attacking, and this is a new India. Like he's sitting in Australia, the most hostile place. Winner, you will know this more than me and Fez.
yeah,
Uh, your dad has traveled there. Australia is a very hostile place to play cricket. It's very hostile, and they do it under the breath, but you can hear everything they say. Why do you think Siraj was going crazy that time when he was fielding? Like it's a very hostile place, but he went and he just gave it back, right? And he changed Indian cricket. So I've always been a fan. But yesterday, what I saw, even at his peak, this is not his peak, right? But at his peak was for me 26, 27 when he was scoring every game. This innings was better than any of that. Just the shots he
yeah.
was playing, I didn't shots. Like, उन्होंने जो बैकफुट पे छक्का मारा,
It
I can
wasn't.
watch
It wasn't more of the shots. I think it was the pressure with which he played
yeah,
and the way he brought the team. That's
exactly,
what
exactly,
actually mattered
exactly.
in this innings more than the shots or anything.
मगर मैं सच बताऊं जो बैकफुट का छक्का मैंने मैं ऐसा नहीं देखा
Yeah,
कभी
yeah. That is
no,
100% the
the
best shot
fine
I've
leg,
seen
yeah,
for
I've
the
seen it.
longest time.
I've seen the fine leg shot and everything. Again, what you said for that, it was because of the pressure. It looks even better. But वो बैकफुट का छक्का भाई उसको उन्हें 140
वो तो
150
एक
मैं तो
दूसरे
सीधा
लेवल का
बोल
शॉट
रहा I would have well left and bold got bold man कैसा है सीधा छक्का good length पे विनय incredible man कैसा मारते भाई ऐसा नहीं मार सकते impossible bro and the pressure though you have the whole weight of expectations 100,000 आपको चिल्ला रहे हमारे पास एक बाहर से अगर विनय मेरे को बोल दिया मुझसे चला के खेलो मैं पागल है तुम कैसे हो जाओ बोल के
Yeah, because literally that 15 overs or 12 overs that these guys had, it seemed like a 50-over match in it. In the way it was played, right? Sadika के इतना बड़ा innings खेल रहा, हर ball ऐसा लग रहा है एक over है दिख रहा है एक ball, and every over that's passing by it's like तो ऐसा I think all of that together and again I'm going to go back with what years both of these players have had. It just took a massive toll on them and finally. They were able to, like basically लगान में एंड में बारिश होती ना और रोते तो वैसा सीन था कि finally it's raining and 3 गुना लगान माफ हो जाएगा and that's what happened.
Yeah, and
Pakistani
yeah,
losing.
there was talk for him to be dropped and everything. Of course, he's proved that wrong. But again, that's where you have to credit Rohit Sharma, because honestly, the people who are saying that he should get dropped, they had valid reasons. I'll tell
Yeah.
you honestly, I was not one. Even last year, we've had conversations, even all of us on WhatsApp conversations, that youngsters को खिलाओ, youngsters को खिलाओ, ये नहीं होता कोहली रोहित से. But like I was never on agreement with that. I felt that because international cricket is different to IPL. I always say
Yeah.
that, and Don is sick and tired of me saying that, but it is different, and I always back them. But the people who were saying that, they had valid reasons कि भाई like नहीं बना रहे रन, तो दो chance उसको, सैमसन को दो, उसको दो chance, ये was that valid reason. That's where I give credit to Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid, but Rohit Sharma in particular, because he had to take that call, because there were other batsmen in the frame. He had to take the call. IPL में भी नहीं perform करा Virat Kohli like what you expect from him. So, but he showed. Now I think no one's gonna ask. Virat Kohli will retire from whichever format when he wants, what he wants. That was just outstanding. Another question I have is he the greatest batsman of all time? Okay, let me rephrase
I
the
want.
question. Is he the greatest batsman that India has ever seen?
I won't say.
Oh.
I won't do that. I
एक
can.
मिनट एक
You
मिनट
can
एक
never
मिनट एक
compare.
मिनट एक
You
मिनट
cannot
यूसुफ का
compare the
कॉल आ
great
रहा है
leaders.
यूसुफ बोल रहा है यूसुफ तेंदुलकर बोल रहा मुस्ती का भाई
What?
No, you can't compare generations. You can't compare players like that because जो ये है ये अलग टैलेंट है, जो अलग दूसरे प्लेयर से वो अलग टैलेंट है. You cannot
नहीं,
compare.
वो बॉलिंग का जो बोलते मालूम, सचिन जबरदस्त बॉलिंग करा, ये और खेला, वो भी सही बात है, बट
बिल्कुल.
कल भी जबरदस्त बॉलिंग थी भाई, को तो मजाक नहीं कर
तेंदुलकर के
रहा
टाइम पे T20 था ही नहीं भाई.
हाँ,
तेंदुलकर के टाइम पे
वो
तब
भी
T20 था ही नहीं.
so then that argument goes in Kohli's favor also कि भाई इतना क्रिकेट खेल रहा फिर भी आके पटाखे फोड़ रहा, तो वो भी आर्गुमेंट हो सकता. सचिन को
देख
रेस्ट नहीं
पहला सीजन जब मुंबई इंडियंस खेला, जब सचिन कैप्टन था, कौन था हाईएस्ट रन गेटर आईपीएल का?
कौन से जमाने में?
फर्स्ट आईपीएल
हाँ,
कौन था आईपीएल का हाईएस्ट रन गेटर? मकलम नहीं था भाई, सचिन तेंदुलकर था मुंबई इंडियंस का.
वो 158 मारा था, वो हाईएस्ट है.
वो तो हाईएस्ट रन स्कोरिंग बोला. मैं पूछ रहा पूरे सीजन में कौन था हाईएस्ट रन गेटर? सचिन था ना पहले सीजन में. सो यू कैन नॉट कंपेयर.
कहाँ फिनिश करे मुंबई उसमें?
वो फिनिश का अलग बात है. वो फर्स्ट था ना नंबर, सबसे ज्यादा रन तो उसके थे. सो यू कैन नॉट कंपेयर लाइक प्लेयर्स लाइक दैट, बट ऑफ कोर्स ही वुड बी in the top 5 definitely in terms of the greatest players, especially as a run chaser.
One run chaser is the best in the world, bro. I don't think there's a better run chaser. Run chaser is the best in the world ever.
I think he'll definitely be among the top 2. Even
Michael
50 ओवर में मैं बोल सकता. 50 ओवर में कौन लगता तुम्हें?
Virat Kohli, bro. Like there's nobody, man. He's
Do you remember Michael Bevan?
I know. I just said that Michael Bevan.
Michael Bevan.
Michael Bevan
भैया एंड में आके पूरे करियर का एवरेज तुम्हारा 67, किसी का आसपास भी नहीं है. अभी 50 ओवर में तुम किसी के भी नहीं है.
बैगन पकड़ो तुम, नंबर 3 पे आके बैटिंग कर रहा हूं मैं, पूरा पता लूं खेल रहा. I understand. I'm not. You have your opinion. I'm not saying you're wrong. But I'm not going to agree with that because इन्हें नंबर 3 पे आ रहा, पूरा इनिंग खेल रहा, खत्म कर रहा, नॉट आउट जा रहा भाई. नॉट आउट
नंबर 7 में आके 67 का एवरेज रखना इजी होता. नंबर 7
मगर नंबर
टेल एंडर्स के साथ तुमने इनिंग्स बनाना वो इजी होता.
नहीं रहता. मगर हमारी Don is saying no comparison, move on. No, we're not going to move on.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I think he's the greatest chaser of all time. I'm going to stick my neck out over there and I'm going to say he's the greatest batsman of all time. He's playing all 3.
No, I don't think he's the greatest batsman of all time.
I'm just sticking out my neck there. I like to take gambles in life. And
this reminds me of the 1992 World Cup.
When we weren't even born, bro. But yeah, listen, man, the guy is doing 3 formats. He scored like 10 centuries in the IPL. Every format he adapts to the format. He scored big centuries in test matches. I still remember in South Africa that innings he played. I know it was in the losing cause, outstanding in Adelaide.
You're saying Kohli is better than Lara in test matches?
I think Virat Kohli is the best batsman of all time.
He's better than Lara in test matches.
In test,
अब इन्हें
that's a different argument.
अब इन्हें भाई एक और आर्ग्यूमेंट ला सकते हैं मेरे भाई यहाँ पे टीम वाइज स्ट्रेंथ अगर तुम देखो सचिन इन लोगों के जमाने में टीम वाइज स्ट्रेंथ ज्यादा थी यार कैलिसेस एंड मैग्रास भी थे एंड ये भी था वो भी था ये कोहली के जमाने में उतना नहीं है
चाचू भी कोई कम नहीं है भाई 3 छक्के उड़ा एमसीसी में क्या आप बोल रहे हो भाई चाचू कम है क्या चाचू है शाहीन शाह हारिस रऊफ भाई
मुझसे तुमको शो में कंट्रोवर्सी करना बताओ कंट्रोवर्सी करना तो बताओ आज
ये कंट्रोवर्सी की बात ही नहीं है भाई सचिन 90s पे आउट हो जाता था हमारे भाई नॉट आउट जाते
तुम्हारे भाई ज्यादा लो स्कोर भी ज्यादा है तुम्हारे भाई की
92 में डॉन वाज बोर्न डोंट बी डिसरिस्पेक्टफुल आप इमरान खान के जमाने के खेले हुए भाई आपसे नहीं लगा लेते
भाई बैक फुट का छक्का मैं देख के मैं मेरा आर्गुमेंट खत्म हो गया क्या आप खेला है रो बैक फुट पे आखिरी एमसीजी 100,000 bro Sunny G in the house everyone's in the house so outstanding bro Vinay
the reaction Srikanth and everyone gave at the end
Sunny Gavaskar looked like a baby bro in that topi ke sath and he was like so happy and you know him Srikanth all of them सचिन खुद के लिए खेलता था इन्हीं टीम के लिए yeah bro I agree man
Musi what about the innings Kapil Dev played 183 all alone
अरे वो रणवीर सिंह खेला
175 वो बताओ वो वाला इनिंग पूरे टीम का स्कोर 260 था वो अकेला 175 मारा
yeah bro honestly that's what's the truth you know like you made a very good point we have this recency bias I have it definitely we have this recency bias there's been incredible innings like I think it's hard to compare but वो टाइम पे रेडियो स्ट्राइक चल रहा था मालूमिश ने खाली रणवीर सिंह जाके उठा के
रणवीर सिंह था
we don't nobody see only the people at the ground have seen that innings so yeah bro 175 like that won the World Cup that's next level that's also very high man
तो greatest of all time ऐसे मत बोला करो सीधा बोल देते तुम इमोशन में तुम आगे निकल जाते पूरा
नहीं मगर देखो if you asking me from who I've seen right if you look at stats and stuff I'll put Sunil Gavaskar right up there because he played even tougher bowling than Sachin without a helmet but I haven't seen from who I have
सोच सकते हो तुम 60 ओवर्स के गेम में 36 नॉट आउट सनी जी खड़े हुए थे
and भाई honestly हम लोग मजाक कर मगर वो बॉलिंग बहुत मुश्किल रहता है हम लोग वेस्ट इंडीज का सर फुट जाता है भाई it's not easy so I think if you go into that it's for me it's difficult to compare मगर मेरे आंखों से अगर मैं देखा this guy is the greatest bro because he's done it in different
तुम शारजा वाले इनिंग्स नहीं देखे
शारजा में क्या हुआ भाई भी शारजा वो जो एक इनिंग थी उसमें हार गए थे मैच
तो हार गए तो क्या हो गया भाई क्वालीफाई करवाया ना फाइनल कौन जिताया
हमारा भाई नॉट आउट जाता जीत के फिर शारजा में देखो मैच डेजर्ट जो 140 मारा क्या हुआ मैच का रिजल्ट क्या हुआ बोलो
तो क्वालीफाई करवाया ना क्वालीफाई करना मेन था ना
शारजा के जमाने में फ्रेम्स नहीं रहते थे पूरे फ्रेमा उड़ा देते थे कॉल पे एक कॉल पे वीडियो चला जाता था पूरा प्लेयरा चले जाते थे तो अपन वो जमाना छोड़ी तो आप
उसमें भी अज्जू भाई जिता है फाइनल क्या होता है
अज्जू भाई जिता है सचिन ने 134 मारा वो कुछ नहीं अज्जू भाई जिता है तुमको
विनिंग शॉट कौन मारा
देखो कैप्टन को था भाई अज्जू भाई खिलाए सचिन को तो ने बना सका
अज्जू भाई की बातें नको करो मेरे बहुत खास है अज्जू
भाई भी मारे
तो मैं सर गोइंग टू द नेक्स्ट मैच ऑस्ट्रेलिया श्रीलंका पे आ जाएंगे
अरे काय करे वर्ल्ड कप खत्म हो गया भाई वर्ल्ड कप इज डन
फैंटेसी पिक्स सेक्शन फॉर टुमारो's गेम लेट्स गो So if I'm not mistaken,
देखो greatest of all time आ गए screen पे
greatest of all time. So regarding tomorrow's game, there's only one match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Australia versus Sri Lanka. It's 4:30 Indian time, 3 o'clock Dubai time, Vinesh time. It's 8 o'clock or something like that, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So it's a late game because it's in Perth, Western Australia.
Yeah.
That's why it is a later kickoff. Yeah, looking at this game, Australia Sri Lanka, it's at Perth. I honestly think Australia are hot favorites. I know they lost the game against New Zealand, but the extra pace over here will cause Sri Lanka problems. And Sri Lanka have so many injuries in the pace department, and unlucky man. Honestly, if they had the full team, if Chamira was there, I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow, but if he was there, it would have been a different game. But I just feel the conditions it all favors Australia. If this was in Dubai, it would be completely different. Vinay, your thoughts?
Wait, I think Chamira is out of the tournament.
He's out of the tournament, so yeah, I
He's
Yeah,
don't.
out. He's out.
he got replaced by Kumara and
Even Madhushan is injured. There's a lot of bowlers who are injured,
yeah,
man. So they
both
don't
of them
have
were injured.
they don't have the prime pace attack. Even then, I would edge Australia, maybe 60-40. But right now, in these conditions, I'm heavily favoring Australia, although they had a poor start. मगर मेरे को एक चीज बताओ विनय बिफोर आई आस्क यू इंग्लिश को क्या हुआ भाई गोल्फ खेलते हुए हाथ का कुछ फुट गया कहते गोल्फ क्लब
हाँ, तभी मार्च आया ना, तभी मार्च आया. मैं कितनी बार बोला है
कैमरन ग्रीन
कैमरून ग्रीन आया तभी अंदर.
Yeah, so bro,
ये
I feel
गोल्फा में कुछ कुछ तो हो रहा गोल्फ पे, पता नहीं पटाखे फूट रहे हैं गोल्फ स्टिक से, क्या हो रहा है कुछ नहीं पता.
Bro, I feel that's a made-up injury, bro.
I think so too. I called it when we talked about Cameron Green drafting into the squad itself. At that time itself, I called it. I think it's a bogus
Because
injury.
if that happened, if you're serious about it, then you replace him with Felipe, right? Or like another keeper. You don't go with Cameron Green and make Warner and Finch keep. You would go with the keeper. That's what you would do.
Exactly. And I think they had to bring the way Cameron Green was playing. They had to bring someone in for him. So that's why I think I don't know. It's just my own opinion at this point, but it
इंग्लिश के बाहर
definitely
खर्चा
looks
होगा.
like it was some made up.
घर के बाहर खड़ा देंगे कैमरा लेकर.
Yeah, मेरे को वो थोड़ा सा dodgy दिख रहा था, but yeah, Vinay, your players to watch out for in this game.
Tomorrow, I have a gut feeling Australia is going to lose tomorrow. I have a gut feeling.
Come on, spoken like a true Sri Lankan fan. I love it, man. Backing the boys.
No,
I love
the thing
it, man.
is, the thing is, the openers that Sri Lanka have, Nisanka and Kusal Mendes play pace really well. They play good pace really well. They're waiting for that ball to come to their bat, and that's where Stark, Hazelwood, and Cummins always give that extra pace, and that's what is going to be beneficial for Sri Lanka in that regard. And then they have those two spinners, and they're going to be very crucial for Australians batting. So I think Sri Lanka might edge Australia, but who knows? Let's see. Players to watch out for me from Sri Lanka, I think Tikshana and Hasranga tomorrow. And from Australia, if anyone, I would say it's probably going to be Hazelwood.
Fez.
Yeah, I'm still gonna favor Australia because I mean, home nation to ek hai, but New Zealand ke loss ke baad, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be coming back. And knowing how Australia's ego is in terms of cricket or any sport, they're always aggressive and sort of want to be the bad boy of the tournament. So I think in that aspect, I'm going to go with Australia. And for me, I'm still again going to go for Warner because unfortunately last time I Southie ke liye, bowled ho gaya tha, which was a very good ball. But I think for me, always Warner is a threat in every aspect. Yeah, very good cricket ball, and you just can't do anything about it. Maybe someone else that I would go with, I feel like maybe Zampa might come back stronger. Don might be very happy to listen to this because he loves Zampa, but yeah, I feel Zampa and Warner from Australia, and from Sri Lanka, the opening batsman who scored a 60 in the last game, I think he's going to do.
Kusal Mendes?
Yeah, I think Kusal Mendes might be the one who's going to be in the squad, and Tikshana, because of those 2 wickets and that spell that he bowled, brilliant. I think these two are going to be watching.
One thing, Musti, is this guy Nisanka back? He wasn't. Nisanka, he was injured in the last game. Ashwin Bandara played for him. So is he going to be back for this game?
I'm not sure exactly. I'll have to check out the injury status.
Because I didn't see the news. I didn't see the news yet.
I'm not sure exactly about it, but they'll probably make the call tomorrow. But because they won last time, I don't know if they'll make that change. But
no, Nisanka was injured last game as well. He was injured last game, and Ashan Bandara played for him. He didn't get to bat, but Ashan Bandara came in for Nisanka last game.
So he's injured last game as well. So yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
sure if he's going to be back. Tomorrow we'll find out before the toss. But
yeah.
if Nisaka does come back, he provides a bit more stability, of course.
That's
That's
why
what I'm saying.
Dhananjaya De Silva played opening in the last game.
Opening the batting, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Sri Lanka are likely to slot Nisanka back in the 11. This is
Okay.
according to Cricket Post, so he's going to be.
Yeah.
This is fresh off the press. Fresh off the press.
Fresh of the press again.
It was fresh off the press. I don't know if we have time for that, but yeah, I think one more thing is from Australia's point of view, a lot of pressure will be on Finch because he's not performing. It's becoming like a Bavuma kind of situation. The Australian media itself. I was listening to the Great Cricketer podcast today, and they were talking about he should have maybe done a Owen Morgan and announced retirement. He's won a World Cup and everything as well for Australia, and he's just not been in the zone for a while now. So there'll be a lot of pressure on him, and he will need to perform with the bat. But also, as a captain, if you don't qualify as a home nation in the semi-finals, there will be a lot of pressure. Of course, not. Imagine if this was happening in India and Rohit Sharma was in this position, there'd be a lot of pressure on him. So I think equally for Finch, there'll be a lot of pressure. Come back strong. So I'm watching out how he plays. If he can play aggressively and set the tone for Australia, that will give them a good chance. But even if they win tomorrow, for me, Australia, I mentioned this before also in my predictions. I didn't have them in the semis. I had New Zealand and England before the World Cup started.
Yep.
I just feel that Australia have a really good team, but it's more of, I don't know, man. Like I wouldn't say test team, but it has all the T20 slots and everything, but sometimes they just don't function as a unit. And if they get stuck, they all get stuck. If one
Exactly.
they have it's very weird to explain. Start pid gaya to Hazel bhi pid jata hai, something like that. So I just had that feeling watching the West Indies game series and the England series. They just don't look in form, even though they have all bases covered in terms of department.
Even in the last World Cup when they played last year,
They
it
got
didn't
hammered
look
by
like a.
England, right?
Sorry.
They got hammered by England in the first game.
Yeah, they got hammered, and the thing was they didn't look like a T20 winning squad in terms of squad strength itself. They never looked like a T20 winning squad, and
They do
they
look like
clicked.
one on
They
paper.
clicked as a unit last World Cup, and
Yeah.
that's what they're expecting now also. And the other thing is, I don't want Finch to be again like someone like a Payne that uh, just happened in Australian cricket, right? Tim Payne, how he was the captain of the test team, and now he's not even able to come to the Sheffield Shield games that Australia hosts and stuff for the domestic, just like Ranji and stuff. He's not even making that squad and stuff. So I hope Finch doesn't go into that kind of
अगर पेन
this
का
thing.
स्कैंडल भी हुआ था तो that's why maybe
स्कैंडल हुआ फिंच के साथ भी कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे करके साइडलाइन ऐसे नहीं करने का. So I hope it doesn't happen for him as well, because he's going in that direction at this point. The way media is criticizing him, he's going in that direction. I think that's why he's little lack of confidence. He has lack of confidence right now in his batting ability as well. So I think that needs to change, and he needs to probably grow up and or be matured and play that inning that he actually wants to.
yeah. And
मैंने भाई
also
inside edge season 4 निकाल दिए scandal with Finch.
but I think from the bowling department as well, like Stark, Cummins, these guys, they're class bowlers. But Cummins, in T20 cricket, recently he hasn't been as effective, and I'm very surprised because Cummins at one stage for me was one of the best cricketers in the world. Like
Yeah.
he could provide with the bat, also with the ball, he was so good. Even in the IPL, he has some world class bowling spells. But recently, even in the IPL, he hasn't done that. So I don't know.
I think
What's
he's better recognized as a batsman than a bowler than nowadays.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with him. Hopefully, he can find the length. So maybe it's just sometimes they get into the test match length, which causes some problems. But Mitchell Stark, I think tomorrow just needs to find that block hole and get those early wickets, and then in the death overs come and finish
For
it
me,
off.
Mitchell Stark is done his peak, and I think they need to start looking ahead of Mitchell Stark.
This might be his last T20 tournament, but I just feel he has a
It's
spell
not
in.
just T20, even in Test or anything. I think he is becoming a liability. I understand that he is a left arm threat that Australia have, but I think they have some better bowlers who are warming the bench for long enough rather than him playing at this point because of his recent performances. And it's been constantly like that for some time now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that wraps it up. Fez, we don't have the fresh of the press right now because we don't have enough time for it. But कोई भी खबर आ रही है ऑस्ट्रेलिया से, मेलबर्न से, सिडनी से, पटाखे फूट रहे हैं आपके पास तो
देखो
मगर
बारिश हो रही है वही चोरा खाली it's raining it's raining
it's raining. So
I
yeah,
was talking to Don. He's very upset. Probably that's why he didn't come on the show. Urvashi Rotela has gone back to wherever she was coming from, and she's moved on now. She's moved on. She's going back from Australia. So
Winnie with the
she
latest news.
she khair I won't say it Jando
She's
I'll
moved
tell you
on.
guys after the show
Moved on. It's yeah. I think that wraps up the show. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. We still haven't gotten over the Virat Kohli show yesterday. We still talked about that today. Make sure if you've seen this video to like and subscribe. We're a new channel, so all help will be appreciated. And we will get you the latest from the T20 World Cup, and hopefully we'll talk more about the cricket tomorrow. Australia versus Sri Lanka. Hopefully we get a 40 over game, and looking forward to chatting about that. Fez, Tahir, Vinay Hariharan, and me, Mustafa Ismail, thanking you guys. Good night. Have a good one.
cheers.
Cheers, bruv.
Good.